All right, welcome back to the channel. Finally, yes, I am alive. I am well. No, I have not canceled the channel. Yes, I'm going to continue making videos. Just bear with me. I'm transferring from one job to another. I'm retiring from one job, going to another job, and that other job, it has a long academy that I actually have to put all of my focus, all of my time, and all my effort in. I'm working crazy hours. I'm working out in the morning, working out in the evening, just doing crazy stuff. So be patient with me. Thank you for everybody that had concern for me, if I'm okay, if the channel is going to keep going. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm about 2/3 of the way done, so maybe in another month or so you'll see the video kind of ramp back up. Hopefully, if I have time. This is a very demanding job. All right, another update. I did take this on a ride with the Nebula on it. And remember how I had it at an angle like up to here with the normal geometry that came with the motor mounts that came on the Onsra Black Car version 2? Well, yeah, I messed up. So what happened was the motor were too close to the back of the board, and right when I tried to carve either one way or the other, the little tips of the motor right here made contact, or tips of the board made contact with the motor, put some marks on the motor. So if you're going to put the Nebula on, I highly suggest putting it at this angle. Hopefully that helps you guys. You'll know when you do it. If it's too high, if it's like up at this angle, you need to lower it down. And as you can see here, I did put some marks on the cans. So this is the edge right here. The motor were too close to right here. So right when I leaned over to carve, it rubbed the can of the motor right there. So this is the proper angle right there. All right. That's enough for the updates. So what is this video about? Well, this video is about Onsra California a little bit. So I reached out to Onsra California and I said, hey, I've been trying to get the new plastic pulley for the version 2. I've been trying to get 45Ts from everywhere. Nobody has them in stock. Do you guys have them? And they said, not only do we have a set, but we will send you a set for free. So Onsra California, thank you very much for that. In addition to that, I started talking to them about the discount code. And I said, hey, you know, the discount code, great and all, but if people go to Onsra Direct, they save more money than if they come to you guys. You really need to give my subscribers, my viewers, a better discount when they use Rama 5. So what they do, they gave a better discount. Thank you very much for that, Onsra California. I really appreciate that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put your little sticker on the bottom of my board today. I need to clean up the board, and then we're going to throw the 45T pulleys onto the board. I'm going to show you what belts you need for that, and then I'm going to take it for a ride. I'm super excited about getting the 45T pulley because, as you know, I don't really care about top speed. I care about torque, going up hills, and how fast can I accelerate and stop. So let's do this. All right, got my little Onsra California sticker on there. I normally don't put anything on my boards. I like the way that they look when they come from the factory. But like I said, thank you very much, Onsra California, for upping the discount code for my subscriber, for my viewer. Anybody that wants to buy a board, Onsra California will now give you $100 off using Rama 5. The link and the discount codes are in the description if that's the route that you want to go. All right, I'm going to try to do this in real time while talking about it with this camera right in my way. We'll see how that goes. Here we go. Removing the wheel. You guys have seen that a million times. I have a spacer there. So what I'm really interested in with these plastic 45Ts is, if you follow the channel, you know that the metal 45Ts, the bearing spacing, the spacing between the front and rear bearing of the actual pulley, here's the two, the spacing between the two were actually a little bit off, in my opinion. So what do I mean by that? When you put the pulley on the actual board, so you see that little lip right there? Try to get something to point at it. So that little lip on the trucks, that should sit just higher than the bearing. And why that is because if the bearing's sitting past that lip, then when you screw your wheel on, if you tighten the outer nut down, if you tighten it down, it actually puts pressure on that bearing, which squeezes the two bearings of the pulley together. The two bearing pulley, it squeezes them together, and it causes premature failure. Now, you can get around that by not tightening that down so much. You tighten it down, you back off a little bit. But every time you put side pressure on your wheel while you're riding, it's actually going to put lateral pressure on the bearing, causing premature failure. So what I'm interested in, and yes, even the plastic pulleys, the bearings still fall out. So that's okay. It's okay. So here's a moment of truth. Did they change the... Now with the 40T pulley, that was never an issue. With the 45s, it still sticks up a little bit. Onsra, what are you doing? It doesn't stick up as bad as the metal one. So with the metal one, I actually had premature failure with my bearings. So when I replaced the bearings, I didn't put an outer bearing in the pulley. But it looks like this might be just close enough to squeak by. We'll try the other pulley real quick just to see if there's a difference. Those bearings just need to be, I mean, I'm talking 0.5 millimeter closer together. Let me change the camera angle. Show you all what I'm talking about. Try to at least. Okay. So you can see right there, this lip right here, I want over top of the bearing. And right now, it's just underneath the race of that bearing. Let's go back to the 40Ts. Now these are the metal ones. Put the camera down. I'm trying to do that real time for y'all. So going back to the metal, you can clearly see that lip sticks up over the race of the bearings. That's the way that it's supposed to be when you're running two bearings, so you don't put lateral pressure on the bearings. All right, I'm going to throw this stuff back on, throw the belts on, and then I'll cue back up and let you know if I had to adjust the motors, which I'm sure I'm going to. Okay, I did have to adjust the motor just a little bit. It was just, the belt went on and everything, it was just too tight for my liking. So when I adjust the belts, I'll show you again. What I do is I keep adjusting them back and forth until I get the flex in the opposite side of the belt that I'm looking for. So when I push on one side, you can see this side of the belt flexes. And that's the best that I can do to kind of gauge where I'm at. So you see this side of the belt flexing. That works for me. Whatever works for you, go ahead and do it. So I'm going to get the tightened up. And then I'll go ahead and flip it over and do the other side. I won't bore you with the other side. Okay, so what I'm going to do to test the pulleys, I'm going to test them. So I'm going to tighten these down. Just tight. And back it off a little bit. But I'm telling you, I can already feel that binding. Like once I tighten that down, this doesn't want to turn. I know that the bearings are binding in the pulleys. So Onsra, you got to fix your bearing spacing on your 45T pulleys. On the 40T pulley, they're fine. But on the 45s, the bearings are too far apart. I've said it multiple times. I'm sure they've gotten plenty of comments and reviews about it. But we'll see. I'll carry some extra bearings with me just in case they start going out. Then I can change it and at least get home. Alright, one last time I'll show you how I adjust my belts, how tight I get them. So when I put pressure on this side, I want you to watch right here where the belt makes contact with the pulley with the motor pulley. See that flex on this side of the belt? That's how I gauge how tight my belts are. So I get them to a point where it has some flex on the other side, and then I try to replicate that on both sides the best that I can, just based off of feel. Alright, so that's the only drama with the clad wheels slide right on the Onsra pulley. No issues there. I'm ready to go. I'm excited to try 105 clad wheel with 45T pulleys. I think this is going to be a torque monster, and I'm excited to get there out on the trail. So let's go do that. But before we can go ride, I got two things. So I said that I'd tell you what belts you need. You need 285 5Ms. If you ordered the Onsra board with the rubber wheels and it came with 45T Kegel pulley for the rubber wheels, just reunit the belts it came with. But if you want to run 40T pulleys on either the Onsra version 1 or version 2, if you want to run 40Ts, you need a 275M. If you want to run 45Ts, you need a 285 5M. Now, with that being said, because I'm switching from 40 to 45, I got to go in and program the remote. So then my speedometer and my mile traveled and everything else is as close as you can get it. So let's do that real quick. We'll reprogram the remote and then we'll get out there. If you know how to reprogram the remote, then just tap the right side of your phone screen a couple times, skip ahead a couple minutes, so then you can get to where we're riding and testing them out. If you don't know how to, I'll go through it again. So what you need to know is if you have a belt drive or direct drive, number one, this is a belt drive, and you have to know your pulley size on your wheel and your pulley size on your motor. If you're running an Onsra Black Carve version 1, it's a 14T motor pulley. And on the version 2, what I have here, it's a 15T. But count the teeth on your pulley and make sure. So this is the same for all hobby wing remotes and boards. If you have a hobby wing, then you do the same process. Count the teeth on your pulley for your wheels and count the teeth on your motor pulley, then divide them. Put the bigger number first, then divide it by the smaller number. In this case, 45 divided by 15 is 3. That's easy. Pull out a calculator and actually do it, and then round up or down depending on your decimal point. You also have to know what size wheels you're running. So in this case, I'm running 105mm cloud wheels. Once you have all that information on the Onsra, and on most boards I should say, you have to hold down the power button. So I'm going to hold that power button down. I just normally do this and don't even look at the little red light, but you can see it blinking. Now it's blinking super fast. So it went from blinking slow to blinking super fast. Once that's happening, get your remote and hold down the power button. You're going to feel it vibrate. Just keep holding down. Okay, now it just paired. So now we can look if you want kilometer per hour or miles per hour. I'm in the United States, I use miles per hour. So we're going to hit the power button. Motor type, hub or belt. We have a belt. Wheel diameter, I'm running 105s. You can use the scrolly wheel to go through all of the different sizes, but I'm running 105s. Hit the power button. So the drive ratio I had set for 2.6. Now I'm going to go to 3, hit the power button, it goes over to the other decimal, and I'm going to change that to 0, 3.0. Good to go. All right, let's get this out on the road. I'm excited. Just kidding. We're not ready to go out on the road yet. So I have my little backpack here. Figured I'd show you guys what I take with me when I go on rides. I hate getting stranded. I hate calling anybody, using an Uber or whatever. When I go out on a ride, I want to be able to make it back to where my vehicle or my house was on the board that I left in. So as you can see here, I'm going to take 4 pulley bearings just in case any of them fail. I have an assortment of screws and nuts, speed washer. I have a whole little baggie of the speed washer off of Amazon for a couple cents. Any of this stuff you can find just on Amazon by itself. Then I have an extra set of Red's wheel bearings. So just in case I lose a bearing in the wheels, I have that. I have the necessary tools in order to change all this stuff. And then if you look in the other pocket, so I got this from Onsra California. It's the Flatland 3, I don't even know. It's a little toolkit. It's a pretty good little toolkit, but when you're using it, it's kind of a pain to keep all the little tools inside the hex head on the T-handle. That part's a pain. I mean, it's all metal. Seems pretty well built. I keep it just as a spare T-tool. I do like the little case that comes with it and stuff. And then in here also, I have extra belts. So they're 270, they're 285s. Every time before I go on a ride, I make sure that I have whatever belts are on the board that I'm riding. I also kind of carry a couple spare. I go riding with people, so I'll carry like the 265, the 270, whatever, in case they need them. But I have a set of 285s just in case those belts break. So short of the board catching on fire or something really catastrophic happening on the board, I can probably get home. I keep all that in the small pockets, and then the big pocket where I keep recording equipment or snacks, licking and chewing, whatever you want to put. This is where I fill up for my ride, but these two pockets only house my tools and extra parts. Okay, I'm out here. I'm going to ride to the normal spot where I do my acceleration and braking test, so we can do that, and you can see the difference with the 45T pulleys. I can already tell you that the acceleration, you do realize that there's a slight acceleration different from the 40Ts. It's nothing to write home about, but there is a slight acceleration difference. Where I have noticed a huge difference is in the braking. The braking is very strong with the 45T pulley and 105 cloud wheels. So that's exactly what I wanted. With the new job stuff, I am back down to 200 pounds. Yay, I'm happy about that. But so I am back down to 200 instead of 210, 215 that I was before. That's also making a big difference. Every 5-10 pounds that you put on the boards, you see a difference in acceleration, braking, and distance. So if you want more acceleration, braking, distance, whatever from your board, lose a little bit of weight or change the pulleys. It feels so good to be back out on a board. I haven't been able to ride any of my boards for over 2 months. That's how busy I've been, everyone, guys and gals. I'm not leaving you guys hanging. I haven't even been able to be on a board. This is the first time I've been on a board in months, and I'm using that time to do a video. Okay, now a quick update on the Nebula. I absolutely love it. The main reason I love it is that it is an awesome drag handle for the board. The board is heavy, and I absolutely love grabbing that handle and being able to drag that board. On top of that, people, when I made the video of installing it, people were comparing it to like a stabilizer brace on a car. I'm a huge car fanatic, and I think in most cases a stabilizer brace on a car is a placebo effect. You get it, you put it on, you're like, oh yeah, that feels stiffer. It's no stiffer because the struts are so close to the firewall that it doesn't flex at all. Now, for the people that have cars that the struts are a good 2 feet away from the firewall, I agree with you, it does help. This was the exact opposite. I put this on, and you could tell that this board was stiffer, more responsive, and is stiffer with that Nebula on it. I don't know. Science, I don't know, but I know that the board felt different. Prove me wrong in the comments. Go buy one. There's a link, I think, down in the comments with a discount code. Prove me wrong. Go buy one. Throw it on your board and tell me that it doesn't make a difference. All right. So here's the acceleration test. I have my remote reprogrammed, so it's accurate, hopefully. We are in mode 3. I'll go through them again. We are in mode 3. All right, somebody be my timekeeper down in the comments. I'm going to try to call. I have the truck super loose. Okay, I have a helmet on, but I still don't want to come off the board. So I'll get up to 20 miles an hour. I'll try to call it out the best that I can. All right, here we go. On your marks. Get set, go. That's full. 10, 15, 20. All right, braking. Ooh, I don't want to hit them hard. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the braking that was me. The braking definitely different with the pulley. I don't want to get thrown off the front of the board, so let's just roll onto it again. 20. Full brakes. Yeah, I like it. It's definitely different than the 40T pulleys. I have no idea what the top speed is. You'll have to figure that out on your own. But that was 25 right there. It felt close to the max. So I think with 105 cloud wheels and the 45T pulleys, you're going to be looking at about 26, 27 miles an hour for a top speed, which is more than fine for me. All right, the last test that I can think of at distance, I'm not going to go to a full distance test just because I put 45T pulleys on it. It's going to be about the same. You're going to get over 30 miles. I think I got, off the top of my head, 36 miles with the 40T pulleys on this board, and that's when I'm a little bit heavier. So if you're looking for a board that gets anywhere between 35 and 40 miles for range, then this is the board. I'm not going to go do it just because I swap pulleys. One last thing that I can think of, I still do not have a Cali NYC. So I ordered it at the end of April. At that point in time, Ernesto said that it was approximately a 6-week lead time. So 8 weeks go by, I reach out. He's been a little hard to get a hold of. If you follow him at all on social media, you know that he's changing shops, he's changing a whole bunch of stuff. So I finally got a hold of him, and he said, look man, I can send you a board right now, but here's the deal. We're going through the process of changing a bunch of stuff. So I'm changing the battery tray to accommodate bigger batteries. I'm changing the springs to the buffers, whatever you want to call them, the barrels, as standard equipment. And I'm also getting new wheels in. The wheels are going to allow you to run the skinny tire and the fatty tire on the same set of wheels. If you want to wait for the parts, it's going to be another month or two. But if you wait, then you're pretty much getting an XL50 for the price of an XL40. You're going to get the better wheels, you're going to get the barrels, you're going to get all the other stuff. Well, you know me, guys. I'm all about the distance on the boards. So when I heard, because I originally wanted an XL50. When I ordered it, I reached out to him and said, hey, can I order an XL50? And he said, no, they won't be available until next year, what he told me. So I was disappointed and ordered the XL40 anyway. The minute that he said that I can get more range on that board if I wait, whatever, however long I need to wait, yep, throw the bigger batteries in there, send it on its way, I'm going to be a happy camper. So I think it might, oh, and then one more update. I reached out to him here recently, and he said that there was something to do with the motors, like the machining went off on the motors or something like that, and it wasn't up to their caliber, so he was delayed in shipping them. But yes, it's been April, May, June, July. We're going into the 4th month now since, well, and I ordered it like the last day of April. So May, June, July, we're 3.5 months into my order, I guess, and I still don't have the board. But a company, number one, that is building one-off custom boards pretty much, and then number two, I don't care how long that it takes, as long as you don't send me trash. I would have been absolutely pissed if they sent me a board and something went wrong about it and they knew it before coming out. So hats off to Cali NYC. It is frustrating that I don't have a board, but to me it's understandable, and I'm still looking forward to it. Can't wait to get that board. That'll probably be my next video, is the, you know, unboxing first impression, first rides of the Cali NYC, and that's going to be weeks down the road until I get it. So thanks a lot, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. If you think that I deserve it, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. The subscribers on that channel are what's allowing me to reach out to the company and say, hey, look, I have 1,300 subscribers right now, you got to give me a better discount code for my subscribers. And that is what's making the difference. So if you like the channel, if you like the content, if you like getting those discount codes, hit the subscribe button. They're free anyway. Hit the like button if this video deserves it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next video.